Hello everyone and welcome back. If you are new here, I'm a professional body piercer and in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to TikTok piercing fails. I'm excited. Everyone who's normally here, I know you are excited too, so let's get into it. I was casually taking a cute little video when this happened. Do I believe it? Sometimes I don't believe these videos because I've been fooled in the past, but this fools me. It looks real. It does look like it's just split, but I'm guessing it was down to like nothing. It would have been like a fishing line amount, if not less, left holding on to that horseshoe. So I'm guessing that's why it fell out. It also looked like it was painless, so I'd say there was nothing there and it just slipped out. Come get a helix piercing with me. She blown up like a balloon. Definitely looks like it's been done with a gun. Oh, and I was right. She's blowing up further and further. I don't mean to laugh. Don't do it. See? Don't do it. It's just so frustrating. You're going through all this pain and suffering and medication because you went and got a piercing with a gun, especially in your cartilage. The cartilage is one of the most dangerous places to get a piercing with a gun. It causes almost instant infection and your ear blows the hell up. Not to mention it's sometimes deforming people's ears. Woke up at 3 a.m. to my ear throbbing. Oh, she's popped in. Thought the back of my earring fell out, but realized it was inside my ear. Can't fall out, libret bar, doesn't fall off the back. I had to take my top piercing out because it was starting to swell over that one too. Oh, brutal. The back of my ear was so swollen shut, so my husband tried pulling it out. Through the front, no! No, these are libret bars. You'd be pulling out a wider surface area through the hole and you're going to cause so much more damage and pain and suffering. Threw up and almost passed out from the pain, so headed to the ER. You don't think. Oh my God, it's like deep embedded. I'll save you the blood and tears and tell you the doctor had to cut my ear open and dig out the earring. $500 later and both piercings are out. I'm scarred from this experience. That would have been brutal. Once the jewelry is inside and it's embedded like that, it looked like those just like closed up so quickly. This is definitely a crazy incident that you don't see happen a lot. This can happen if your jewelry isn't long enough, so you don't have enough swirl room. And if the diameter of that libret backing isn't wide enough, it can also get sucked in there if swelling is occurring. That is when you need to have something a bit wider so that it can really secure itself on the outside of the piercing hole rather than being sucked inside. This is a very obvious and clear reason why you shouldn't opt for the tiny, dainty jewelry to start with. Some places will try to sell it to you. Some piercers will agree to put it in when you're first pierced, but you can have things like this happen because there isn't enough swell room and the piece is so dainty it can just get sucked up inside of you. That sounds so vile the way I described that, but that's just the best way to describe it.
This woman had to have her earplugs removed with pliers after they'd been stuck in her ears for 2 whole years.
There's some things that concern me about this. The fact that the plugs haven't been changed or removed in 2 whole years is disgusting. That should never happen. So the question that pops into my mind is, when you first put them on, were they like threaded wrong and threaded so tight? For jewelry to be threaded on wrong and not be able to be taken off, it has to be like insanely wrongly threaded. The fact that you've waited 2 years to get them out now is really gross because you should have been taking those plugs out daily to clean them because that shit is rank. That's the only word I have to describe that. Yuck.
She hadn't been able to get them out in all of that time, but when she was scheduled to get an MRI scan, she had no choice but to find a way.
I mean, had you been trying? Had you really been trying? I think if you were desperate enough, you would have gone to a piercer sooner. It happens a lot where people need to go for an MRI or a surgery and they come in to get their jewelry out, and all jewelry of all places on the body is just so gross. You can tell they've never cleaned it. It's not gross because it's infected or because it hasn't healed. It is always gross because it is just covered in your bodily excretions, like literally dead skin, sebum, and it's just caked on so many areas of the body people need to get jewelry out of, and it's always very, very gross. Just because it is very evident people don't clean their jewelry or their piercings. I was grossed out for a while when I first started piercing, but you get very used to it and you realize that like a lot of people don't do it. So I'm not shaming you, I'm just saying a lot of people don't do it, but like especially with stretched ears, be cleaning those things every day. It's sick.
So your dad's a mechanic and he tried with his tools and it wouldn't work?
Well, he tried for like a minute and then gave up.
Okay. Well, we've been here for 20 minutes. Still haven't given up.
Yeah, doing a lot better than my dad.
Also, it is wild though, because this says it's at a body piercing studio, so the fact that they have actual pliers in there is kind of crazy.
None of this is painful?
Yep.
The piercer gently and slowly unscrews the plugs.
This is the safest method to avoid injuries. I mean, I wouldn't exactly agree that pliers are the safest method. I would definitely say that hemostats are the safest method, but maybe they weren't strong enough for this jewelry. Maybe the threading is completely destroyed inside.
The crust shifted.
That is a plug in his nose, you can use this now.
No, it's like I won't be able to get it in his nose.
I want to do the thinner version. There we go, I seen it.
Okay?
Yeah, I was trying to move my shoulder for you.
Oh my god.
Yep, this one's definitely moving.
Yay.
Damn.
If this didn't work out, what's going to be your other option? I'm curious to ask.
I didn't even know. I have no clue.
No, there wouldn't be that option. Yo. 2 years and I'll be out.
Ew, we got nasty.
Ew. Well, there's a little bit of an indication there why they also might have been like cemented on there. Is it looks like very low quality jewelry. Who knows? They could have been rusting in there. There's definitely some sort of erosion of the metal.
Your ear looks pretty healthy though. Minus like the, look at the back.
Is it nasty?
No, they're just like
Is it like
the,
a stain back?
like this crust or the metal residue just got left behind, you know?
Oh yeah. The threading looks black and it also looks slightly green on the metal. So like this is terrible jewelry. Just don't do that. Even more so, especially for plugs that you're going to keep in your ears for 2 years straight.
Yep, this one's moving too.
Yay.
That was way easier than the other one.
I just don't think this person has really tried that hard to get them off. You went to your dad after 2 years of having them in full time and be like, can you get this out? And he tried for a minute and gave up. I don't think you tried very hard to get them out. Granted, it is the best option to go to a piercer to have them removed because they will know the safest and best way to get it out. Not to mention, we know how the jewelry works. So some people end up turning it the wrong way. It's always lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. I don't know, this seems like a bit of a stretch to believe that like 2 years passed and you didn't think to take them out or change them for hygiene purposes at all. Anyway.
But then again, last time this was moving a little bit too and then it stopped out.
Woo. Okay, that one does
Her ear's
smell.
naked.
I can
Her
smell
ear's
that.
naked.
That one that smell?
I think that one smells.
Yeah, they would have smelled the entire time. Yuck. You often see people wearing just like costume jewelry. You can literally buy it from like a dollar shop and they're made out of God knows what metal. They generally bend a lot. You see people wear them for like full time and like no one, don't do that. Please, please, if you take anything from this video, don't wear just like costume jewelry full time. If your ears go green or black, this is definitely terrible jewelry. It can lead to skin irritation and it's just not healthy for your ears.
Do not get this earring from studs, y'all. I accidentally hit my head today and they jabbed 3 dots on me, and it's the only piercing that got infected.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny coming from the last video we just watched about wearing like shitty jewelry. I'm assuming this would be dodgy jewelry because a manufacturer wouldn't create jewelry that is going to hurt or injure the person. Every edge of jewelry should be smooth, and although it can be created to look as though it is a point, it should never actually be sharp or have the point, if that makes sense. I definitely got a ring one time and it had 2 sharp points on it, and every time I would wash my hands, I would cut my hand open on this ring. It was a silver ring, however, it just like was not manufactured well, and I can't wear it because it's not practical. So in turn, that's either a item that should be discontinued if they really are a good company. I don't know what that company is, or they just create dodgy jewelry.
Can I get my belly re-pierced? Part 1. Unfortunately, not all belly buttons are made to be pierced in the first place.
That's what I like to hear. I love hearing people speak about this because it is true. Sometimes, just as with any other piercing, you don't have the anatomy to accommodate the piercing. It just isn't viable for you, and people will argue with you, they will fight with you to the death until somewhere agrees to do it. That is one very frustrating thing about piercing, is people don't want to listen to you. They're just like, I want this piercing and I'm gonna get it and I don't care what it takes to get it. So they will go to as many piercers as it takes for someone to agree or someone to just want the money. That's a very annoying part of the industry, that one piercer somewhere will just do it. Or a piercer who never should have been signed off to be a piercer has looked and thought that it was okay to do with that anatomy, but it just wasn't.
If you have too little or too much skin in the area the belly bar will reject, leaving you with scar tissue. If you never had a problem with the piercing rejecting, then you can get it re-pierced and try again.
Yeah.
If on the other hand your piercing rejected or got ripped out, there will be scar tissue.
And I mean, there's always talk and myths around some piercers believing that if your piercing's rejected and there's scar tissue, you can pierce behind it and that will like hold it in place. But honestly, I've never seen success with this. Generally, if the piercing has rejected once, it's going to continue to do that every time. So if the piercing isn't working for you, maybe just opt for a different piercing, because this one it's just not going to come around, unfortunately. As sad as it is, I know. I have the many scars on my navel to prove it.
Our bodies have memories, and getting pierced through or too close to scar tissue will cause it to reject over and over again.
Yes, we love to hear it.
That will leave you with an ugly scar.
Oh yes, it will. I have so many scars on my navel for the amount of times that I have got it pierced. When I was younger, I would go to a different place and they would tell me, yeah, we can do it. I got it pierced so many times. It would have been great for someone to have just known what they were talking about, and either after the first rejection, they were like, not a good idea, it's not going to work. But no one ever said, no, that's like, it's not a good idea, we're not gonna do this. Everyone was like, yep, give me the money. Let's fuck this teenager's navel up even more than it already is. I honestly am just glad that I didn't do the 4 navel piercings, 1 each side. I thought about it, but then I would have been left with even more scarring. So that's the only positive that I can take from my navel piercing experience. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like down below and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll be back very soon. Bye.